Greg repeat the steps of what is happening in this last protocol? I was a bit high when.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I give you an explanation when you're all like expanded and go, oh, by the way, like what you're doing is da 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 da. I crack myself up sometimes. Right. So it's all about the timing. Right. So when you still cracking myself up. It's a little bit like a German shepherd, like, oh, squirrel, hey, I'm going to tell you something in this deep expanded state. So when you do the Ming Men, for one, you're raising the vibration of the body. Two, you're moving some Kundalini up, right? You're moving some Kundalini up. You're also helping to establish order both within yourself, but even outside of yourself, right? Because like sometimes what happens is you might be in a good place, but there's things going on you that actually start to cause the body to be agitated. And so with greater levels of awareness, you can go, oh, if I resolve these things, or if I put some motion in these things, everything will resolve. So there's this drive to establish order internally and externally, right? And then, I mean, like if you think about just that piece, think about when you see a path to like how things should be, or like a thought process, and somebody comes in and tells you something that's vastly different or in vast opposition. Eventually the Ming Men will try to bring some sort of order to that. But what do we usually do? Like a lot of times we get a little triggered and a little upset, like, oh, how could they think that way? How could they be doing this? Why do these people do these things? Like, whatever version of that is, it's the same area gets triggered, right? So when it's in a good space, it activates to raise the vibration of the situation. When it's not regulated, it's you get triggered and then you get like upset or the adrenals kick in and then it becomes a fight flight kind of thing. So you're literally taking things that could potentially trigger you and you're turning it into things that there's a difficulty, but I can resolve this. I can bring order to this, or I can walk away from this. Like it kind of almost doesn't matter, right? Because we've refined this. So in that, the Ming Men also harmonizes the two sides of the brain. So you're harmonizing intellect and intuition, right? Most times we're a little too in the intellect. So it just starts to bring a balance or harmony between the two, right? In this phase is when the blue pearl begins to activate, right? So now there's an increase of information and energy and light coming down into the blue pearl that then begins to fill the body, right? So you go from Ming Men and brain at the same time, then you go to just the back heart, right? So this is taking that energy and you're starting to anchor it into the physical body and the emotional body, basically into the lower realm, right? Then you go from the back heart to the Ming Men, where you're taking that light and you're moving it further down, right? As soon as it gets into the Ming Men usually shoots things up, but in materialization, it takes that and then shoots it down, right? So it shoots it down to the sex chakra, to the basic, and then releases it out your feet. So when we go back heart, Ming Men, right? We're letting it linger, then we let it go and we go to the feet just to increase the downpour of light into that area below your feet, right? When you do that, you start to create a state of oneness. Rather than stimulating oneness, you're creating a state of oneness, right? You're filling the earth below you, which is attracting the building blocks, the elements, the elementals that come up into your body. You're creating this like light sphere around that area below your feet so that things that come in, they're cleaned up, they're refined. Even when people start projecting things at you, it's not as bad because it's got to go through that light. So the light will break it down. you have karmic imagery coming in, the light starts breaking it down. It starts transmuting it before it even hits your physiology, right? Yeah, interesting, huh? Okay,